Boxing back at it with another boxing video. All right. So the WBC has ordered that the WBC champion and lineal champion Adonis Stevenson at light heavyweight should face his mandatory Oleksandr Gvosdyk. All right, now Oleksandr Gvosdyk is a guy from the Ukraine. He's been on a tear lately as far as undefeated fighter and the high KO percentage. You know what I mean? I can't quite remember his record. Last I remember, he was like 14-0, maybe 12 KOs, something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, the WBC has ordered that these two meet, and there shall be a purse bid on July 2nd to determine the factors on where this fight shall take place and basically which network, where, when this fight shall happen. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Adonis Stevenson hasn't faced a mandatory since I believe 2013 when he fought Tony Bellew. He's had opportunities to fight mandatories in between his reign from 2013 till now 2018. Guys like Kovalev ducked two purse bids as the mandatory to get out of a fight against Adonis Stevenson, so that didn't work out. And Lady Alvarez has accepted at least on two, maybe three occasions, step aside money to become, excuse me, step aside money from Adonis Stevenson, and they never fought while the man, Lady Alvarez was the mandatory. But Alidi Alvarez don't need to cry over spilled milk. He gets an opportunity to fight for a world title sometime in August. I believe the first weekend of August against Sergey Kovalev, the WBO title holder at light heavyweight. Now, do I like this fight? I do, but I don't like it more than Adonis Stevenson versus Badu Jack. So, ladies and gents, boxing heads and fight fans around the world, you guys gonna have to pump the brakes on the Adonis Stevenson versus Badu Jack rematch. I think there should be an immediate rematch. That's what I'd like to see. But unfortunately, the WBC is trying to make the man all of a sudden they're pressing the issue to make the man Adonis Stevenson face his mandatory, which is all well and fine because Gvosdyk is also a good fighter, up and coming fighter. And I think a guy like Adonis Stevenson, it would be in his best interest right about now to get this guy out of the way before he does get better and improve, especially due to the fact that this guy, Gvosdyk, he looked very vulnerable in his last fight. He didn't look good at all. He fought some guy from Egypt, can't remember his name, a guy from Egypt. And the guy from Egypt wasn't bad, but he was just wasn't letting his hands go. But in the 11th round of that fight, this guy hurt the man, Gvosdyk. He hurt him on the ropes. And if this guy was more aggressive, the Egyptian guy, if he was more aggressive throughout the fight, he probably would have stopped the man Gvosdyk, or probably would have made it a more competitive fight. I've seen Gvosdyk get dropped by guys like Tommy Carpensi. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy from, I think, is it Pennsylvania or Ohio? Somewhere on them sides. And this is a guy who trains in the basement with his pops and his brother. You know what I mean? So yeah. What's goody, Mike? Mike 105. What's happening, man? Mike says, "Damn son, what the fuck? It's 5:12 a.m. Player. Where you at on the West Coast? How you gotta be." He says, Mike 101 says, "What's up, B Marsh? You gotta be on the West Coast, fam, because it's 8 o'clock in the morning." Matter of fact, I got put on my TV to watch this World Cup. You know what I mean? I was just scrolling through the boxing news, and I thought this was something that I had to put out there because I didn't really hear anybody else talk about it. You know what I mean? So the question remains: will we even see Alexander Gvosdyk in there with Adonis Stevenson? Like I said, Stevenson needs to go ahead and take that fight ASAP. You know what I mean? Hopefully before this year ends. He fought when? He fought in May. He got to try to make that fight happen before the year ends. You know what I mean? That's what I'd like to see, you know what I'm saying? And I do believe that Team Stevenson, if when they do go to purse bids, I believe they'll win the purse bids. So the man Alexander Gross, they're going to have to get off that ESPN top ranked Bob Aaron platform, come over to Showtime PBC and fuck with Al Heyman and the Stevenson and Sam Watson. Sam Watson, that's Adonis Stevenson's man. So, like I said, personally, I'd like to see the rematch with Badu Jack. I'm sure there are going to be people out here, those agenda-driven channels who are gonna throw shit and disparage the man Adonis Stevenson's name, and they'll probably say this guy Gvosdyk will knock him out. Well, it's boxing, anything could happen, but I highly doubt that. You know what I'm saying? The man Adonis Stevenson just came out of a fight with a very, very good, talented fighter in the division in Badu Jack, and the fight, it went how very competitive fights go. You know what I mean? The fight was a draw, could be a draw, could be for Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how it goes when you face elite competition. You know what I mean? It's nobody's gonna get dogged out and just get his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? And Adonis Stevenson showed in that fight. You know what I mean? For an older guy, yeah, he did gas out, but for an older guy, he still has plenty left in his gas tank. As long as he can hopefully knock fellas out early, so he don't gotta go the distance. You know what I mean? Mike 101 in the chat says, "You gonna get them Mexican jerseys now for the Migos?" LOL. Nah, I don't have no international jerseys. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting for a stock on them, you know what I mean? Because, I be slanging them like dope out here, you know what I mean? But I do have club teams in stock, you know what I mean? I got Liverpool, I got Real Madrid, Barcelona, them joints sold out. I got Chelsea, Man City sold out. I got a couple Man U. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I be slanging them jerseys, man. It's soccer season, you know what I mean? The Migos be on it. I be on it too, you know what I'm saying? It's summertime. That be the fly shit to wear right now, you know what I'm saying? Get a fly jersey to match with your kicks or a nice snapback, and you got it on and popping, you know what I mean? Mike 104 says Adonis fights whoever he wants. I wish our fighters were more active, especially fighters like Stevenson and the 154s when he wants. Anthony Purvis in the chat, what's happening, son? He says, what's good, family? Been waiting on you to drop something on this. You dig? Adonis gotta get son out of here. Yeah, I believe so too, man. I believe he beats him up because the dude looked vulnerable in that fight versus that Egyptian dude who was a nobody, and that was for the WBC interim light heavyweight title. I will give Graves the credit. The best I ever seen him look was when he fought Uniescas Gonzalez. Man, he beat the shit out of him, dogs. He beat the shit out of that guy. That was a thorough beating. But the guy Uniescas Gonzalez, he's a guy who for a Cuban fighter doesn't fight like a typical Cuban fighter. You know what I mean? He's a kind of guy who, he's a kind of guy who likes to brawl rather than fight off the back foot or fight with intelligence or with a high boxing IQ. Mike 104 says it's city all the way for me out here. Ah, yeah, city. That's right. I remember you showed me the little what was it, like a kind of patch, them kind of badges or whatever for Man City. Yeah, Man City got a good squad. That's why they ran all over everybody in that Premier League. You know what I mean? You check it. We'll see what your man Raheem Sterling do in this World Cup. He ain't looked too great yesterday, but my guy, my favorite team in the EPL, Tottenham, my guy came through yesterday. Harry Kane, man, that man's vicious. You know what I mean? They don't always mention him as one of the best goal scorers in the world, but this guy is a unadulterated professional goal scorer, no question about it. Finks GRRR says B Marsh on the morning grind. Thanks for the news. No question, man. Thanks a lot. Yeah, man. This just like I said, man. When I wake up in the morning, man, if I even look at world news and all that shit, man, I look at see what's popping in the boxing world. You know what I mean? If there's anything new happening, and I didn't even know that these guys, the WBC, is pressing the issue for these guys to fight. You know what I mean? Anthony Purvis says I was at that fight on Ramirez versus Imam undercard, and he didn't look good at all. And he can't get into a slugfest with Superman. Nah, he don't want to do that. Even Badu Jack ain't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Badu Jack actually gave up 6 rounds to try and execute his game plan. You know what I mean? Maybe if he started a little earlier, got a couple rounds in the first half of the fight, he definitely would have won the fight. You know what I mean? And I'm a big Adonis Stevenson fan. I'm just a fan. I like a lot of left southpaw fighters. You know what I mean? I think I've always have. You know what I'm saying? From Pernell Whitaker, Rigondeaux, Manny Pacquiao, Adonis Stevenson. And one thing for sure, two things for certain. These four guys that I have mentioned from the southpaw, these motherfuckers can crack. You know what I mean? And it's just something about that left hand, and a guy bobs his head and feints like he's going right, and the guy doesn't commit the opponent, and that flush left hand just comes straight down the pipe. You know what I mean? Even Errol Spence, he's another southpaw that I like too. Bud Crawford, a guy who's a switch hitter. Marvin Hagler, one of my favorites of all time. So I'm definitely a fan of the left-handed fighter. You know what I mean? But in my opinion, I've always thought, a very good right-handed fighter will beat a very good left-handed fighter. I don't know. It's just something about that straight right hand down the pipe from a orthodox fighter that always finds a home against a lefty. You know what I mean? And that's why I knew Manny Pacquiao had no chance against Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, before Floyd had retired, he had the best right hand in the game. And I'm not talking about knocking out opponents with a flush right hand, but I'm talking about the prettiest, the pull counter, flush straight right hand. It's just a thing of beauty. Go watch that Canelo fight. Go look at how many flush, straight right hands or counter pull punches from the right hand that Floyd landed on the guy. Mike 104 says Uniescas Gonzalez was psychologically compromised after he got robbed against the Canadian Pascal. Yeah, hey, I don't know why he fought he fought that guy Gvosdyk like that because he was leaking. Hill Gvosdyk put hands on this guy. You know what I mean? Maybe robbed wasn't the right fight, but Gonzalez sure. That fight I had it a draw. I had that fight a draw. A lot of people are crying robbery or no. I didn't think that the guy did enough to win, but it was a good introduction for us for boxing fans because I had never heard of the guy till that fight. And then he beat the white murderer's road guy Shabaransky, and he fought Gvosdyk, and he ain't been heard of since. Okay. And AP Anthony Purvis in the chat says, I heard Swift is having shoulder surgery. The pic was on his IG page, and these links talking about son using an excuse to duck Charlo. Anthony Purvis, these guys are really going to be in their feelings. They're dogs. I'm going to flame their ass up one time for sure, without a doubt. When Jamel Charlo, this guy, he going to get knocked out, man. These guys are fucking retarded who be making videos, dogs. I told y'all fellas over here, I don't listen to too many boxing videos. I cut my subscription from 2017 at some point. I think it was before Wilder and Stavern. I cut my subscription down dramatically to other boxing channels because I noticed an agenda out here, and fellas be fanboys. They be fanboys so much of a fight for men who ain't wearing no shirts, just men in trunks. It's fucking disgusting. It is. It don't make no sense, man. I like a lot of fighters, but can't nobody come on my channel and say I'm a particular fanboy of anybody. No, I'm a fan of boxing first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't even come out and said that the man Charlo is ducking Jared Hurd. Why would I? These guys are gonna fight. Now I didn't hear anything about this what is it, a surgery from Jared Hurd, you know what I'm saying? I haven't checked up on that. I probably will after I do this video, but if the man has an injury, he has an injury. You know what I mean? Just like Keith Thurman. If the man has an injury, he has an injury. But the difference is Keith Thurman has shown reluctance, and this guy is he doesn't want to fight nobody with a pulse at 147. All right. There's a difference between a guy like Jared Hurd, a guy who unified the division, a division that hadn't been unified since 2013. Guys like Lara Charlo and the other Charlo were been in the division. They didn't unify for nothing. They've been champions for like the man Landy Lara's been a champion since like 2014. You know what I mean? a regular champ. He got elevated when Floyd retired. You know what I'm saying? None of these guys had the initiative or took the first step to become unified, but Jarrett Hurd did. This guy fucking Charlo couldn't even knock out. Even Errol Spence said this guy Charlo was trying too hard to knock his Austin Trout out. That man Jarrett Hurd ain't need to try that hard. Matter of fact, he even took a couple punches to get this guy tied just to get to the position to where he could get this man out of there. Even when you watch the Arislandi Flara fight, the first half, I had the man Jarrett Hurd up maybe 4-2 after 6 rounds, but he wasn't even blasting or tagging this guy with vicious shots. He was picking him apart with just picking up points, you know what I mean? Just basically getting to the body and landing some punches, but not with no authority. And in the second half, he started throwing and blasting him with power. You know what I mean? The guy's an intelligent fighter. Jamel Charlo, man, you guys going to be really hurt. These guys who making these nut ass videos hating on Jarrett Hurd. These guys hate Jarrett Hurd. I'll give you some reasons right now. They don't like his hair. They think the kid looks like Odell Beckham with them French fry, curly French fries coming off his head. That don't got nothing to do with me, son. That's what the new kids be doing, you heard? And that's what they do. I judge the dude from in the ring, you know what I mean? And what he's doing. I've been told you guys are over here. The guy Jarrett Hurd went from a motherfucking a prospect to contender to a champion to unified in less than 2 years. You guys show me somebody who done that in boxing right now. Please show me who's doing that in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Um, Maybe you could tell me a guy like AJ Burnett, the guy from out there. Is it Scotland? He did that. You know what I'm saying? He did that, but then he dropped that. He dropped that. What is it? IBF bantamweight title because he ain't want to face his mandatories or face tough competition over there who might be trying to, you know what I'm saying, who going to be his mandatories. That's why he just kept the WBA belt, you know what I mean? Um, Let me read the chat. Mike 104 says, in boxing, nothing happens immediately. Hurd and Charlo will fight when the other options are expended. I like Charlo more on the basis that I'm a Lara fan at heart. I'm a Lara fan, hard body. Very, very much so. Always defended him. Never picked against him, except when he fought Jarrett Hurd because I knew what would happen. And I said, this guy will stop the man Hurd. I'm Lara. And sure enough, he did. Um, Mike 104 says Charlo versus Hurd is fireworks. No question, man. That's the best fight to be made right now, probably in boxing, besides Deontay Wilder and AJ, and maybe Crawford and Spence, and maybe Mikey Garcia and Loma. I got Mikey winning that. Sorry. Okay, Mike 104 said Hurd came out of the woodwork while Lara and Andrade were talking greasy for years. He did exactly what you're supposed to do. No question about it. No question about it. Anthony Purvis is exactly, bro, and you're keeping it 100 is the reason your content is years above these cats. Forget the subcon because people like controversy more than facts. Yes, indeed, that's true. We was talking probably with boxing beats and rhymes a while ago, and it's like dogs. You could make a very good historical video. You know what I mean? Putting out some knowledge out there, putting out some content that's not even here on YouTube or touched on that particular topic by anybody on YouTube on any videos. And that motherfucker won't get as many views as some controversy or Agent Broner groping a chick in a mall or some nut ass shit like that. But really and truly, in boxing's a niche sport. Worldwide, if you take the whole planet, there are more casual boxing fans than they are hardcore fans. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think the demographics will be here on YouTube? YouTube's a platform that's used worldwide, probably from every single country, except I don't know about North Korea. I don't know about if they use YouTube over there. Or what other country? They do use them in countries like Iran and maybe Afghanistan and China, but these countries, they definitely monitor. Like there's a lot of channels that you probably can't look at in these other countries. But that's besides the fact. When it comes to boxing on YouTube, it's a worldwide thing. So what do you think? You think there's more hardcores or casuals um, who listen to boxing videos. I tend to think it's more casuals, especially channels out here who might have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Let's say like ES News, Fight Night. I said Fight Night, excuse me, Fight Hype or something like that. IFL TV. Now these type of channels gonna have more casual subscribers than hardcores, and that's a fact. All you gotta do is go look in these comment sections of these big channels. I've even seen on Dante's Boxing Nation. Um, a guy was hating and talking about Jojo Diaz will beat the shit out of Gary Russell Jr. But the same guy says he's never seen Gary Russell Jr. versus Vasil Lomachenko. Now, I mean, you're a big Lomachenko fan. The guy was talking like he's a big Lomachenko, but he's never even seen that fight. So that just shows me he's a casual. So that's just my estimate out here. The demographics, it's even just the kind of stuff like an IFL TV. You know, a lot of these channels they gained a lot of popularity over the last year because of this AJ and Wilder stuff. And half of the a lot of AJ fans are casuals out there in the UK and even here in the US, the ones who are trying to hate on Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? You know, they don't like to see an American fighter doing things like what Floyd did. These guys always got hate. Or Deontay Wilder who's knocking out opponents and calling out the best and saying, I'm the best and I want to fight the best. They don't want to hear them type of things from a big, strong black fighter, whether it's at welterweight like Floyd or Deontay Wilder. It's just something about these type of figures that is menacing and intimidating. They'd rather these type of guys stay humble and meek, kind of like Terrence Bud Crawford. Let Terrence Bud Crawford start talking that shit, which he still does, no question about it. He talks it, but not quite like AB. But Bud don't get the kind of hate AB do. But let Bud be very outspoken like Adrian Broner. He's gonna be hated on. There's already people who hate on him right now on YouTube who say he's ducking Spence. He ain't fought nobody. This, stand a third, and but these type of guys, they really scared for their life because they know Bud is coming. Bud is coming. You can't tell me on this motherfucking YouTube platform that what's his name is better. What's his name? Errol Spence is a better pure boxer than and skill wise than Terrence Crawford. No, that's not true. No, Bud Crawford got the skills to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Errol Spence is a good fighter. He could win the fight. I'm sure he's probably favored to win the fight. But he got a better body shot game. But as far as skills, technique, Bud Crawford could do it all. I don't know if the man Errol Spence could box off the back foot, be a pure boxer. You know what I'm saying? This guy, Errol Spence, is a come forward guy, which is all well and fine, a pressure fighter. Just like Hammer and Henry Armstrong, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, a pure boxer like Bud Crawford, I think got the skills and the style to beat him, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's people's agenda out here on YouTube, you know what I mean? It's a little kid, little boy mentality to hate or disparage a particular fighter to boost up a next fighter. I ain't never had to do that. Or I don't have to do that. We could talk facts. I don't have to disparage Errol Spence or or Terrence Bud Crawford because I like one or the other. These are two great fighters, and I can't wait to see these guys get it in the ring. You know what I'm saying? All right. Mike 104 says Crawford came up in 2 years. Crawford, I knew the guy from like 2012, maybe 2013. I knew him when he had dreads. Uh, when did he get his first title? 2014, right? 2014. And he ain't unified till about 2016. So nah, it's not quite the same, man. It's not quite the same for Crawford like Jared Hurd. The way Jared Hurd just came within a year and a half, went from a prospect to a contender to a champion to unified. You know, Bud Crawford, it took him a little longer than the man Jared Hurd. You know what I mean? Mike 104 says, but fighters like that are exceptional in today's game. Mike 104 says, my last name is Lara. I'm amigo. That's what's up, man. Lara, man. Hey, that's Landy Lara's that dude. Mike 104 says, I appreciate Beats the most. His videos pique my interest, especially the Critical Look series. No question, man. And that's a fact. That's why, sometimes he starts his videos. Some of you not going to like me. Yeah, it comes with the territory. When you can smash a lot of dudes on YouTube, probably every single fucking body, when it comes to boxing knowledge and years in watching the sport, you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people who want to challenge you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, Mike 104 says when he has fellas on the panel, no question. Mike 104 says Spence is so calm. That is his best asset. He's never mentally out of the fight to where his weapons are nullified. Yeah, he is. He stays calm, cool, collective. You know what I mean? Um, but I just think a pure boxer, I think, could beat this guy. You know what I'm saying? I think a pure boxer who got some pop and can move around, definitely on some lateral movement, they could definitely beat the guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know if it'll be Bud, but I'm just saying as far as skill wise, cause look at this guy Oscar Ocampo who fought him. This guy was actually doing well before he got caught with them body shots, and them body shots made him kind of tentative. You know what I mean? But he was using his jab well. He was kind of outboxing Errol Spence for at least a minute and a half of that fight. You know what I mean? So you check it. I think that Spence is a good fighter, the best of the best at 147. Some people trying to take credit away from that when he beat Kell Brook. I think that's bullshit over here on YouTube. Kell Brook was a very good fighter, man. They try to say, oh, he just came off a loss. Well, he had never lost at welterweight. He came to the United States to beat the man Kell Brook. You know what I mean? So stop, man. Like Kell Brook, excuse me, to beat the man Sean Porter. Kell Brook is a very good fighter. When the man Errol Spence fought him, that fight was nip and tuck after 9 rounds. Like I said on previous videos, I had it 5-4 for Errol Spence after 9. Round 10 and 11 was destruction, and that's where Errol Spence won the fight. But the man Errol Spence had got tagged up. He had lost at least 4 rounds on my card. So, Errol Spencer was a good fighter. Jamel Charlo, is he a good fighter? Well, I don't know about that. I think he's only getting a little better because he fight sparring with the guy Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Well, you could say what you want. You could call Jared Hurd what you want. You know what I'm saying? Just because I said I don't think Jamel Charlo's a great fighter, you could say what you want about the man, Jared Hurd. But don't be saying none of that shit like he's ducking because I'm not gonna say Jamel Charlo's ducking. You know what I'm saying? I know Jamel Charlo could be outboxed by the guys like Varnes Monterosen, Gabe Rosado, John Jackson. The best guy he ever fought in ever in his life on his resume is Austin Trout. A guy that my guy Jared Hurd from Accokeek, Maryland stopped. So a lot of people out here on YouTube, they full of shit, man. That's why I watch a whole lot of other videos that could stimulate my mind rather than listen to a lot of people's boxing. All right. Mike 104 says Spence versus Crawford is virtually a perfect matchup. Will Spence bodywork void the boxing and movement of Crawford, or will Crawford's intangibles and boxing ability take Spence in too deep or other? Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail, man. If Bud could stay away from the body shots, because if he gets body to the body for 12 rounds, I don't think he can take that. I don't think any welterweight can. So it would be Bud's best interest to use a lot of lateral movement. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying run, but exactly what he did against a big guy like Jeff Horn. What he did against guys like John Molina, who are bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? Got to use his boxing. Um, if you've seen Floyd Mayweather fight at 130, 135, even at 140, that's how the way Bud fought Jeff Horn was exact. Or even 147. Excuse me, 147. Small 147. That's exactly how Bud fought. You know what I'm saying? He would move around. He'd time the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because timing beats speed. The guy Horn was coming in head first. the guy Crawford would unleash some combinations, then get up out of dodge, step back, let the guy come forward. When the guy tries to smother his work, the man would clinch, and that's a strategy that Floyd Mayweather would use a lot too. Vladimir Klitschko did that a lot too in his career. So I ain't never mad at clinching. Yeah, it doesn't make for a very spectacular looking fight, you know what I mean? But it is a strategy. You check it, it is a strategy, and you have to use it when you have to. B Marsh Box about to seal the deal on this live stream. Big ups to my man Mike 104. Big ups to AP Anthony Purvis. And I'm out of here, man. Thanks for everybody participating. And let me know what y'all think about Gvosdyk versus Adonis Stevenson. All right? I'm out of here. One.